How's it going, everyone? As we head into a new week, the calm before the storm is really kicking off now. As you guys know, if you watch our channel regularly, I've been talking up Q1 and the absolute tidal wave of games that are coming out, and it's really kicking off this coming week. Although this coming week is a little bit on the quiet side, definitely some big stuff coming out. Don't get it twisted. 2 major releases, I would say, but next week is when things get absolutely insane. But definitely some stuff to sink your teeth into this week as well. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is much appreciated. Let's kick things off with possibly the biggest game release of the week, and that is The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Now, everybody has their opinion on Last of Us Part 2. I have been vocal about my opinion of the game, but at the end of the day, it is a game that is beloved by so many, and you are getting this upgraded release on PlayStation 5. Now, the actual necessity of an upgraded release on PlayStation 5, that can be brought to question quite a bit. However, I would have been very down on this re-release had they not done the major thing and added the no return mode. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered will be adding a totally new gameplay mode in No Return, a roguelike survival mode built to spotlight The Last of Us Part 2's nuanced and engrossing gameplay in a unique way. And if Sony wants to get on board and do a bunch of roguelike style games utilizing the gameplay fundamentals of their existing titles, I am totally on board, and No Return looks like an incredibly compelling component to The Last of Us, where you'll play as various Last of Us characters, some for the very first time ever, in a new roguelike survival mode. No Return is a roguelike survival mode, and it allows players to choose their own path and test their skills across runs of randomized encounters, and various other things will be going on as well. Death is permanent in No Return. No Return's randomized combat encounters will bring players to familiar locations from The Last of Us Part 2's campaign, like Jackson, the Channel 13 news station, and many more. These scenarios will be unfamiliar thanks to unique gameplay differences like a roster of playable characters with different playstyle traits, unexpected gameplay modifiers, unique objects, and much more. But be warned, death is permanent in No Return mode, so if you fail a run midway, you'll lose all weapons, items, and upgrades accumulated for that run, and begin again with a fresh set of randomized scenarios. How you progress during any given run isn't predefined throughout a run. Players will choose between different encounters, which will determine not only the type of gameplay mode, but also what rewards are unlocked, what potential modifiers will be encountered, and more. In between each combat scenario, you'll return to a hideout where you can prep and choose your next fight via a path laid out on a cork board in these familiar locations. The different types of challenges in No Return: you've got Assault, which pits you against wave of enemies; Capture, where you have to break into a safe full of valuable supplies enemies are guarding; a Holdout, during which you and an AI-controlled buddy defend against infected swarming around you. That AI-controlled element, guys, you know what I'm thinking when I look at something like that. If they could add co-op play to No Return, that would be incredible, but as of this moment, that will not be included. Maybe in the future. Let's hold out hope. Hunted, in which you need to survive until the timer runs out against continuous enemy reinforcements. Should you make it all the way to the end of the run, you'll fight one of 6 successfully unlocked boss encounters, and after you've conquered them all, they will randomly cap off future runs against some of Last of Us Part 2's most memorable foes, but not necessarily in the ways you first fought them. Runs, whether they end in victory or defeat at the hands of a clicker or hunter, culminate in a score and rank based on your performance, and the next run will be unique from the one before, offering a fresh set of encounters each time you play. Mods, gambits, and upgrades are included as well. Randomized mods. Mods will be randomly applied to encounters, and choosing to take on modded challenges affects the rewards you'll receive. You've got dynamic challenges and upgradable weapons, and a metagame as well. There's going to be a lot of replayability attached to No Return as a whole, and on top of all that, you are getting an upgraded release of The Last of Us Part 2, and best of all, if you already own the base game, no, it won't be a free upgrade, but it will be a $10 upgrade. None of that nonsense of spending $70 like we did for Last of Us Part 1, if you did do that. In this case, it will be a $50 release if you do want to buy it outright, or if you have a copy of the game, again, a $10 upgrade. Just be warned that if you're looking to buy a physical copy of the game, kind of difficult to get it at a cheaper price point since this remastered version is coming out. People know that the value of the game, so to speak, has been appreciated. There was a point where you could easily get a copy of Last of Us Part 2 for under like 15 bucks. That's not really the case anymore, but what can you do? Nonetheless, Last of Us Part 2 Remastered will be out January 19th, and remember, on top of No Return, you've got the entirety of the campaign to play through, upgraded as well, and you've got the lost levels as well. You've got director commentary. This is a solid remaster by the looks of it, and there's going to be a lot of stuff to sink your teeth into. Next up, This is one you guys should be excited about. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Now, transparency, Ubisoft provided me a copy of the game. I've been playing it pre-release, and I've been loving it. Now, this is a game that all of the footage we've seen leading up to its release has looked rather good. Ubisoft just shot themselves in the foot for some reason with the initial debut trailer that I just thought was handled so poorly, but the game always looked good. Now, as a side-scrolling action platformer, the $50 price tag may be something that pushes you away, and I'm not crazy about the fact that it's $50 for the base game, but if you want that quote-unquote early access, oh, go ahead and pay $60 for that digital deluxe edition. Like, that stuff is whack, and it's always gonna be whack, and I'm gonna call that out for being whack. However, what I've played of The Lost Crown so far has been fantastic. It's got challenge, it's got a great art style, a great soundtrack. The story is really engaging, and the main character in Sargon, finding him to be a compelling main character. Take it from me, and what I've played thus far, I am really enjoying it. The price point is gonna be something that pushes people away, but if you're a fan of action platformers, side-scrolling action platformers, there's quite a bit of side content as well. That's been a little bit of a surprising factor, like a lot of side quests, so decent bit of content here as well. Really enjoying my time with it. Yes, I know so many of you want the Sands of Time remake, but don't sleep on The Lost Crown. Look at the reviews. It's sitting at like an 86 on Metacritic right now. Game Informer gave it a 9.5, and I would say that 86 on Metacritic, pretty much in line with my thoughts so far on the game. There are some issues here and there, but really digging the game. And I think it's gonna be one that maybe some people skip out on launch day just because there's so much stuff coming out, and $50 is a hefty price. But down the line, you know, 6-7 months from now when the game is on sale, a lot of people are gonna check it out and be like, whoa, Lost Crown was one of the great games of early 2024. And if I look at this game right now, I'm just like, man, we're starting the year off with a bang. If we can have this level of consistency going forward with so many big releases, we're in for a great, great year. The Lost Crown is kicking off 2024 in a fantastic way. It's officially out January 18th, but again, if you do get the digital deluxe edition, you can start playing it 3 days early on January 15th. Hate the business model, but what can you do? So many publishers are doing it these days, so it is what it is as far as that's concerned, but loving the game so far, and I think a lot of you guys will end up enjoying it as well. The price point is the only thing that could end up being a bit of a barrier for some people. Next up, we have The Cub, from the creators of Golf Club Nostalgia and High Water. Return to the whimsical neon-lit apocalypse in a Jungle Book meets the Armageddon fusion. Parkour through the remains of humanity as a child being hunted, while catchy end-of-days tunes and curious survivor stories play in the background. Challenging platform parkour inspired by the classic Sega games of the 90s, The Jungle Book, Aladdin, Lion King, but with modern twists and ideas. Platform parkour through the remains of humanity, outwit evolved wildlife and dangerous hybrid flora. Crack environmental puzzles that keep you guessing and stay one step ahead of the wicked humans who pursue you in a twisted apocalyptic safari hunt. The story of a hunted cub. After the great catastrophe, the ultra-rich flee to Mars and leave the rest to perish, but among them a small child who developed immunity to the hostile planet remains. Decades pass and those on Mars venture back to Earth to do recon. When they spot a small human child, the cub, they immediately try to capture it. This sets off a journey of escape, exploration, and discovery through the urban ruins of humanity, coupled with frantic cat and mouse chases. This world tells tales, explore the ruins of humanity after the great catastrophe wipes out most of civilization. The perfect tunes to keep you company. Accompanying you on the journey is radio nostalgia from Mars, a custom soundtrack that'll crash land you into your psyche. Sync through thought-provoking survivor stories from the few ultra-rich living on Mars, and meticulously drawn and stylized to look like classic animated films of the 90s. The Cub is officially out on January the 19th. Next up, I do want to highlight a free update coming, and that is for Cult of the Lamb, the Sins of Flesh update. Now, there is a free trial for the game available on Plus Premium if you do want to check that out, and in its latest update, the Sins of the Flesh update, totally free, in its biggest and most wicked content update yet, the cult's tendrils extend even further with a blasphemous beneficence of quest features, improvements, and a deliciously evil new resource that rewards these leaders prepared to yield to the sins of the flesh. You've got sins and disciples. New progression systems add more depth and complexity to managing the Cult of the Lamb by following the sinful path. Your followers will delight in gluttonous rituals, vain buildings, and wrathful doctrines. Invite your most loyal followers to the inner circle of disciples, a revamped leveling system of follower progression. Better cult life, shiny poop, baneful brooms, and bigger, better buildings improve busy cult life. Shiny poops have special effects like yielding fruitful crops and adding XP to your broom. Leveling leveling up your broom will make chores faster and more effective to improve automation. There's also a new tier for the janitor station and the storage structures, so your followers will take better care of themselves. Lamb with a gun. Blast heretics away with the new blunderbuss weapon. When loaded, it fires big damage in close quarters to bring a new combat playstyle for your crusades. If you charge it up even more with a heavy attack, you can aim to snipe enemies from long range, and each of your cultists can flaunt their flower fashion at a new Taylor building as well. All of that content will be rolling out in Cult of the Lamb's free update, Sins of the Flesh, on January the 16th. Next up, we have Bahnsen Knights 1986 Tornado Alley USA. Go undercover as Boulder, an agent infiltrating the notorious religious cult known as the Bahnsen Knights. Face off against occultists, biblical storms, and an enigmatic car salesman turned preacher as you investigate the disappearance of a fellow agent and close friend. Bahnsen Knights dropped back in December on PC. Positive reception, 22 Steam user reviews. All 100% of the reviews have been received positively, and Bahnsen Knights hits PlayStation 5 on January the 17th. Lastly, we got a couple of VR titles to go over. First of all, this is huge. Bulletstorm is entering VR, with Bulletstorm VR being published by People Can Fly. Bulletstorm VR is a brutally creative action shooter that puts players in the ass-kicking boots of the hot-headed space mercenary Grayson Hunt as he shoots, kicks, and leashes all he can see across a hostile world in virtual reality. It's been well over a decade since Bulletstorm dropped. I remember it was bundled in with, I believe it was the Gears of War 3 beta that got people really excited. Bulletstorm was an over-the-top first-person shooter, definitely had its level of vulgarity attached to it, so be prepared for that, but as an over-the-top action shooter, it was a ton of fun, and now it hits VR. And lastly, we have Vertigo 2, another VR FPS. Vertigo 2 is a single-player VR adventure. Explore the depths of the vast quantum reactor as you descend to finish your journey home. Vertigo 2 already dropped on PC and Steam. 1,769 reviews. 96% of those reviews have been positive, and now Vertigo 2 will hit PlayStation on January 15th. And that is going to do it for me. Again, while it is a little bit light in terms of quantity of new releases, you got Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, you got Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which again, I've been playing and absolutely loving. Some stuff to get excited about. And then come next week, it is all systems go. We are going to go guns blazing with the new releases, so exciting times ahead. But that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.